Now I'm going to show you, and this isn't something we've ever really done before for the most part, but I'm just going to illustrate to you how this bidding process works, where we start and where we end. And this goes back to my point as to why having seller representation is very important. And I mention this because a lot of people in the industry, agents and advisors too, and consumers, they have no idea who they're dealing with in the life settlement industry. Oftentimes they'll ask us, "Oh, so you're buying life insurance policies?" I say, "No, we're not. We're not buying it. We're representing your seller to help them get the most for their policy." But this is what happens as a lot of buyers are out there marketing, which is nothing's wrong with that, and it's creating great awareness for our industry. But when they're going direct to consumers, oftentimes a lot of money can be left on the table if the clients don't have representation to help push those offers up. So, as an example, we received this policy. We collected the information, medical information, insurance information, and we presented it to the life settlement market. As you can see from the very top, in May last year, 2022, one provider threw out an offer of $95,000 to start. Then a couple put out $100,000 each. And as you can see in that right-hand column there, it goes up and up and up over about a period of 3 weeks or so. We push it up, push it up, push it up. And finally, I say provider two there ended up offering $460,000. That ended up being the high offer, and move forward with that company to sell the policy. And if you look back where provider two up top, I'm not sure you can see my arrow or not, but provider two up top, they started off at $100,000, and obviously much lower than where we all ended up. So without creating competition, without creating basically almost creating a market to push the value up, there's a chance that if this, for instance, consumer went direct, or an agent just went to one of these buyers and said, "Hey, what's it worth?" "Well, it's worth this." There's a chance that that client could have sold their policy for as little as $100,000. Maybe they would have squeezed it up a little bit. But without creating a lot of competition to push the value up, a lot of money can be left on the table for your client and for potentially for yourself for a commission. So I think it's important to illustrate how important it is, again, to have representation and to know that this isn't, let me give you an example. This isn't real estate per se, in that you know what the comps are on your block, right? What the house next door sold for. People have no idea what their life insurance policy is worth. And as a result, buyers sometimes can offer a lot less and get a policy for a lot cheaper. And what's a buyer's ultimate goal all the time, right? A buyer's ultimate goal is to get something for as cheap as possible. And they are doing nothing wrong by doing that. They are the buyer. They represent investors. Those are their clients. They're not doing anything wrong, as far as marketing and as far as trying to get a policy for as cheap as possible. That's what they're supposed to do. The investors are their clients. The point is your clients or whoever, we represent the seller and they are our clients. And our job is to push these offers up. And if you want to look at this, you can think this is an anomaly, this isn't typical. No, this is very typical. And part of the reason too, it's not just the providers by any means, the providers meaning the face of the buyers, it's the buyers themselves, right? They're trying to get something as cheap as possible. And the providers, sometimes they don't know what the top of the market is either. They don't know where that policy is ultimately, they might have a feel, but they don't know where it's going to end up either. So they have to push on their side as well with their buyers to try to push the offers up for us and the sellers to get to that top market value.